Right now, as you read this, Windows 11 Copilot is building a profile on you. Every prompt, every question, every private thing you've typed into that sidebar is being logged, processed, and sent to Microsoft's servers. Not hypothetically, not as a worst-case scenario, as a default behavior that most people have never agreed to, never thought about, and never been clearly told about. And here's the thing, 2026 is around the corner, and Microsoft is about to expand Copilot's reach significantly with new AI features that will make this data collection deeper, not shallower. If you don't act before that happens, getting your data back becomes a whole lot harder. Let me show you exactly what's happening under the hood, and more importantly, how to stop it. Let me show you exactly what Copilot is collecting, because Microsoft's own documentation tells a very different story than their marketing does. When you open Windows 11 and use that Copilot sidebar, whether you're asking it to summarize a document, search the web, or just answer a quick question, you're not having a private conversation with your computer. You're sending data to Microsoft's cloud infrastructure. That data includes your natural language queries, the context Windows provides to help Copilot answer you, and metadata about your device and session. That's not speculation. It's in Microsoft's own privacy statement under the section for Microsoft AI products and features. Now, here's where it gets more complicated. Windows 11. Copilot operates in two modes, and most people don't know the difference. There's the standard Copilot, which routes your queries through Microsoft's Bing-backed infrastructure, and there's Copilot Plus, the AI-enhanced version, designed for devices with a neural processing unit, an NPU. Copilot Plus machines introduced a feature called Recall, which was supposed to take encrypted screenshots of everything on your screen every few seconds, like a time-lapse of your entire digital life. Microsoft paused Recall after massive public and government backlash in mid-2024, but they haven't abandoned it. It's still being rolled out selectively, and security researchers have been watching it carefully. Think about that for a second. A feature that screenshots your screen constantly, your banking, your emails, your private messages, sitting on your device and queryable by an AI. Even if it's encrypted locally, the attack surface is enormous. Kevin Beaumont, a well-known independent security researcher and former Microsoft employee, published detailed analysis of Recall's data storage in 2024, finding that the database containing all captured screen content was accessible to any process running as the logged in user, meaning any malware on your machine could read your entire activity history. He called it a perfect surveillance tool and noted that the protections Microsoft promised were not fully in place at launch. Beyond Recall, the standard Copilot integration has its own data sharing behavior. According to research by the privacy-focused organization, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, AI assistant features embedded into operating systems represent a new category of data collection because they operate at the system level. They can see context that a browser extension or standalone app simply cannot access. When Copilot is connected to your Microsoft account, your interaction history is associated with your identity, not just your device. That data can be used for personalization, which is a polite word for building a model of your behavior over time. Independent technology journalism outlet. The Register reported in late 2024 that enterprise IT administrators were raising alarms about Copilot's default settings in corporate environments, specifically because the line between local AI processing and cloud data transmission is not clearly communicated to end users. The concern isn't just theoretical, it's operational. What you're typing, what you're working on, what private files you're opening, all of that context is available to Copilot and potentially flowing outward in ways that most users have never explicitly authorized. If you're on a Windows 11 machine right now, this applies to you, and it gets worse when you see why Microsoft built it this way to begin with. Here's the part that should make you genuinely angry. This isn't an accident, it's a business decision. Microsoft is not a charity. They are a cloud services company. Azure, their cloud platform, generates enormous revenue, and the AI infrastructure powering Copilot runs on Azure. Every query you make, every interaction you have with Copilot is data that trains and refines Microsoft's AI models, improves their products, and strengthens the competitive position of their AI ecosystem. You are not just using a free feature, you are contributing to a product that Microsoft sells to enterprises for significant amounts of money. When Microsoft announced Copilot integration into Windows 11, they framed it as productivity, a helpful assistant right inside your operating system. And look, there's a version of that which is genuinely useful. The problem is the default configuration. In the world of software, defaults are everything. The vast majority of users never change default settings. Microsoft knows this. They've built entire businesses on it. So when they choose to make data sharing, cloud processing, and account-linked interaction history the default behavior of Copilot, that choice is deliberate. That's not a neutral technical decision. That's a product strategy. It's like letting a contractor work in your home and only reading the fine print later to discover they've been keeping notes about your interior design, your daily schedule, and your conversations. So you let them in, technically, but you didn't know exactly what they were recording while they were there. There's a broader context here, too. Microsoft has made a multi-billion-dollar bet on AI, including a massive partnership with OpenAI. Their entire product roadmap for the next 5 years is AI-centric. Windows, Office, Azure, Teams, Xbox, all of it is being infused with AI features, and all of those AI features need data to improve. The operating system is the most intimate software relationship most people have with technology. It's on while you sleep. It sees everything. Turning it into an AI data collection layer is extraordinarily valuable for a company in Microsoft's position. When I realized the full scope of this, not just Copilot in isolation, but as one piece of a much larger data strategy, I went through every Copilot-related setting on my own machine and changed every single default. You should too. And here's exactly how to do it. All right, let's fix this. And I mean completely fix it, not just turn off one setting and call it a day. There are several layers here, and we're going through all of them. This takes about 15 minutes total, costs nothing, and you don't need to be a technical person to do any of it. The first thing to do is disable Copilot entirely from the taskbar and prevent it from running in the background. Press the Windows key and the letter I at the same time to open settings. From there, navigate to Personalization, then Taskbar. You'll see a toggle for Copilot. Turn it off. This removes the icon and prevents Copilot from being invoked from the taskbar. But it doesn't stop all Copilot-related services from running, so we're not done yet. Next, open Settings again and go to Privacy and Security. This is the most important section of Windows 11 for what we're doing. Inside Privacy and Security, look for a category called Speech. There's a setting here for online speech recognition. If this is on, your voice input is being processed by Microsoft's cloud servers, not locally. Turn it off. For most people, doing basic computing tasks, local speech processing, or simply not using voice input at all is perfectly sufficient. Still in Privacy and Security, find the section called Diagnostics and Feedback. You'll see an option for diagnostic data. This has two settings, required and optional. Required sends basic data Microsoft says they need for system stability. Optional sends everything else, your usage patterns, the features you use, application data, and more. Set this to required only. While you're here, also turn off the option that says improve inking and typing. This one is subtle. When it's on, Windows samples your keystrokes and handwriting to improve Microsoft's input prediction models. Turn it off. Stay with me here, because this next part is crucial and most tutorials skip it. Go back to the main Privacy and Securities page and look for a section called Search Permissions. Inside there, you'll find a setting for Cloud Content Search. This controls whether Windows searches your Microsoft account content, OneDrive, Outlook, SharePoint, when you use the search bar. If you're not deliberately trying to search cloud content, turn this off. For both your Microsoft account and your work or school account, if either is listed, this isn't directly Copilot, but it's part of the same data pipeline. Now we're going after the Copilot data that's already been collected. Open your browser and go to account.microsoft.com. Sign in with the Microsoft account linked to your Windows device. Navigate to the Privacy section, then find AI and Copilot Interactions, or Copilot History. The exact label may vary slightly. From here, you can review and clear your Copilot conversation history. Do that. While you're in your Microsoft account privacy dashboard, also check the Search History section, which logs your Bing-powered searches, including those routed through Copilot, and clear that as well. For people on Copilot Plus hardware, meaning a device with an NPU chip, typically newer Surface models or laptops from late 2024 onward, there's an additional step specifically for recall. Go to Settings, then Privacy and Security, then Recall and Snapshots. You'll see options to disable recall completely and to delete any snapshots that have already been saved, disable it, and delete everything stored. Even if a recall is in preview status on your device, do this step. The data exists on disk until you clear it. The final layer is about your Microsoft account itself. If you're using a local account on Windows 11 rather than a Microsoft account, Copilot data is not associated with a persistent identity in the same way. If you're using a Microsoft account, which most people are, you're logged into a much tighter data relationship with the platform. I'm not going to tell everyone to switch to a local account because there are real trade-offs. You lose access to synced settings, certain Microsoft services, and some convenience features. But you should know the distinction exists and make that call for yourself. One important disclaimer before we move on. If you're using Windows 11 in a workplace or enterprise environment, some of these settings may be managed by your organization and locked down by IT policy. That's actually a separate conversation. Enterprise Copilot configurations have their own data governance layer, and if you have concerns about data collection at work, that's a conversation for your IT or security team. Also, none of what we've done here disables Windows Defender, Smart Screen, or your core security features. Those stay on. We're targeting data collection and AI processing, not the security layer that protects you from malware. Keep Defender enabled. Here's what I want you to take away from all of this, beyond just the settings we just changed. We are living through a transition where operating systems are being redesigned, not subtly, not incidentally, as AI data platforms. Windows 11 is not the end of this. The version of Windows that ships in 2026 and 2027 will have even deeper AI integration. And the default assumption baked into that software will be that you want to participate in a cloud-connected, data-sharing, AI-assisted computing experience. The question isn't whether this is convenient. Some of it genuinely is. The question is whether you consented to it with full information and whether you have the ability to opt out when you decide you want to. You started this video in a position where Copilot was operating on your machine. Under default settings, you probably never chose deliberately. Now you have control. You've cleared the existing data, locked down the active collection points, and made an informed decision about how you want to use these features, if at all. That's not paranoia, that's ownership. You're the admin of your own computer, not a guest on Microsoft's platform. You're not alone in caring about this either. There are privacy researchers, digital rights organizations, and millions of ordinary users who are asking the exact same questions about where the line is between a helpful tool and a data extraction mechanism. The fact that you're watching this, that you took the time to do something about it, that matters. These decisions accumulate. Every person who changes these defaults sends a signal, however small, that users are paying attention. Do this today, not next week when the 2026 rollout gets closer, not after you've thought about it for a while. Today, while it's in front of you. The 15 minutes it takes is worth it. If this gave you something useful, subscribe so you catch the next one. I cover these issues as they emerge, not weeks later when everyone else finally reports them. And drop a comment. Are you staying on Windows and locking it down, or is this the push you needed to look at alternatives? I read every single one.